My mom grew up as one of 7 kids in Beattyville, Kentucky. She had a fierce love and devotion for her family as a child, and that stuck with her throughout her life. She was the perfect middle-aged child, helping her siblings and their kids at every corner. You can imagine the hand-me-down system that you can enjoy in a family of this size. My mom supported that system with pride, even with her great nephews and nieces. Mom also helped make sure everyone in our family had the opportunity to go to college, even herself. She wasn't able to go to college after high school, and instead she found the right time for her was when my brother and I were in college too, which was in her early 50s. Mom was so proud to go to Indiana University, and she got straight A's. I remember the first year that I was at Butler University, I did not get straight A's. My dad shared that my mom works, she takes care of us, she runs a couple boards, and she goes to school. He looked at me and he said, "You've got one job, you go to school. Do you think maybe you could try a little harder?" My mom was always giving her best. My mom was so busy, it was often hard to get onto her calendar. She had friends across the United States thanks to her 42 years of serving the United States Department of Agriculture through rural development. Her work ended in Washington, D.C., where Mom was very proud to serve her community on a national level under President Bush. I remember talking about potentially taking her career to D.C. She was driven to do this, and it was inspiring to see her achieve this and move to D.C. for the last phase of her career. Our family's journey with dementia started with my grandma Ruby, my mom's mom. I have replayed this time often when I think of my mom's journey. I watched as my mom took care of her, helped keep her at home as long as possible, even living with us for a stint. When the hard decision came to move her into memory care, my mom went each weekend, and often at least once during the week, to Connersville, Indiana, which was 60 miles one way, to visit. I remember when a doctor told me my mom likely had Alzheimer's. I went to the family doctor visit with my mom so I could get a better pulse on what was happening. I knew my mom wasn't my mom, but I didn't know what to do about it. During this visit, my mom was asked by the doctor if she felt depressed. Instead, my mom looked at me and said, "I feel lost, depressed, and like my life has lost value." I helped her and held her hand and tried to keep myself together because these were words I had never heard from my mom. She's always been strong, smart, brave. I talked with my mom about her feeling lost and asked if she'd want to try volunteering. She wanted to do that until the time came to leave the house when she would become afraid. Then she started to quickly lose weight, a symptom I did not know about at the time, and then she began wandering outside on her own. I reached out to the Alzheimer's Association during this time and shared what we were going through. They helped guide me on what I could possibly expect, as well as how to help my mom as she was going through this transition. I found myself needing to call the helpline again. It was a Sunday in a pandemic where it was not ideal to go to an emergency room. My mom had fallen while trying to get out of bed in the middle of the night. She had become frail with her weight loss. The dementia had become worse, and I was desperate for guidance. I called the helpline. I was connected to a female doctor in the Chicago area who listened to me, who gave me straight answers, and who educated me that it sounded like it was time to see if my mom was at a stage where she might need hospice. The next day, she was admitted while staying at home. My dad became her full-time caregiver, with me helping him as much and as often as I could. The guidance to make this call and take this step was life-changing. It forced us to open our eyes to where we were on this journey. I had hesitated to call the helpline before this moment because I thought we had all the support we could use. We had insurance, we had doctors, we had money for some extra help. We did not have the right resources who were experts in this disease, who knew exactly where we were in the stage and what we would need to do to move to the next stage. This kind of support was only found with the Alzheimer's Association. As an Alzheimer's patient, you're admitted to hospice if it's believed you'll live less than 6 months. I remember this realization hitting me hard. Dementia stripped all the things from my mom that defined her. I had to consider what she needed from me now and who she needed me to be. My dad and I were entering unknown ground. While this time in our life was very difficult, it had some uplifting moments too. My mom telling me not to quit my day job when I tried to do her hair was definitely a good laugh we shared. A couple others include my dad feeding my mom food she would never have eaten before and telling him how good of a cook he was. And always, always the joy of getting a Diet Coke for her and watching her take that first drink that brought a smile to her face every single time. In this journey, we heavily relied on the hospice team and knowing we could again reach out to the team at the Alzheimer's Association. The guidance their materials provide helped us be better caregivers, understand the disease, and understand how we needed to change to help support my mom during this time.